Welcome to another edition of It's Your City. My name is Jim Shirk, Board of Supervisors, Ward 4. Let me first start by talking about the short film festival that the Brewery Arts Center had here just recently. I was a judge. It was a fabulous event. Many films were entered, from young adults all the way to children, and there were just a fabulous array of films, and it was just quite enjoyable. Drew quite a crowd as well too. Second, let me talk about the fair that we just had at Fuji Park. It was fabulous. I hope the board and the city manager will get together and we can help sponsor this again next year. I went almost every day, a couple times every day actually, and it was just well attended. It was well put on, and city staff did a great job doing all of this. So hats off to them and kudos. I also like to talk a little bit about a news article in today's paper by Ronnie Hanneman called Times Are Changing, and it's a great article about where Carson City is, where we're headed, and what's going on. Definitely pick up the Nevada Appeal today, read this article. It's really, really enlightening what's going on. So I think you will enjoy that, I know that. Also, I want to remind all citizens that you can go to our city website, and that is just by entering www.carson.org. And you can look at the city, budgets, departments. They have a lot of information there, from minutes of the meetings. Everything is there, and I encourage you to look at this website because it has a lot of information about what's going on in our community, from snow routes to snow plows to almost everything you wanted to find. It's there, and it can be very helpful to you. Also on there is the minutes of the Board of Supervisors. They've just been recently updated. Keep in mind these are only summaries, not the full content of the minutes of the meetings themselves. Since my last filming here at the Brewery Arts Center on June 9th, there's been a couple of agenda items that came before the board. The first being medical marijuana. I strongly support medical marijuana for individuals who need it. We've had family members who definitely benefited from this, and I support it 100%. While this agenda came before the board, I made a motion that we should first allow one dispensary, then the second dispensary 6 months later, then our first cultivation establishment 1 year, and then another 6 months later, the second cultivation establishment. That motion did not grant a second nor a vote. What the board did do is reduce the limit of where the dispensaries can go within a residential area from 1,000 feet to 300 feet. And they also put a no limit on cultivation. I do not favor this, and for that reason I voted against it, even though I strongly favor medical marijuana. I just did not like the restrictions they had taken off the establishments and where they can be put. Second thing I wanted to touch base on is the one-in sales tax. Right now we're coming before the board pretty shortly, probably within the next week or two, will be the tentative plans for the corridor improvements. Probably the downtown area will come out first, followed by the other corridors as well. Also, as you well know, the multipurpose athletic center is moving forward, and we should break ground on that sometime next year. I would like to just touch base on another board meeting we had since June 9th, and that was a joint meeting between the schools and the Board of Supervisors. The school board and our staff and everyone met in one room. It was a great meeting, a great understanding, and I asked the city manager at that time if we could expand these joint meetings to, say, meet with the board down in Douglas and Lyon, get the city councils together in a joint meeting as well. It could be definitely a benefit for all of us in all the counties if we met and conversed and talked to one another face to face. Speaking of the new city manager, Nick Morano, he has made some changes within our city, and the most notable is the building department, which is now outsourced to Charles Abbott and Associates. They will be doing the plan check and the building inspections. This is quite a deviation from where we have done this for a number of years within the city, and so it's outsourced now. And the second one is we're outsourcing the animal shelter will now be through the Nevada Humane Society. They will be running at the facility for Carson City. It'll be a no-kill facility as well. And this is all because of our new city manager has taken the initiative to make these changes on his own. It wasn't a board action. We didn't bring this before the staff. He brought it to us, and we just approved the building department being outsourced, and the Nevada Humane Society will be coming before the board as well, and we'll be looking at that. So he brought this forward. I think that's a great thing for our city. And speaking of our new city manager, I would like to say that I meet with him one-on-one once a week, and I get updates. For the first time ever, I'm getting updates, and I think this is fabulous. It keeps everything moving and keeps everyone together and focused on what we're trying to attempt and what we have accomplished. So I really, I'm looking forward to the years of working with this Nick Morano. He's a great guy, and he's doing great things for our city so far. What recently came up at the last Board of Supervisors meeting was our ambulance fund. We have to write off $500,000 for the past 6 months of uncollectible bills. This is pretty much what we were told at the board meeting. It's business per se as usual, that there is a lot of uncollectible debt from an ambulance service. But if you look at this in the long term, you're looking at over $1 million a year. Of course, in 10 years, that's $10 million. That's a lot of money. I think this will be coming back before the board, or it should be coming back before the board for some alternative methods of how we can conduct this. Also in the last board meeting, or a couple board meetings ago, NNDA came before the board and wanted $150,000 to help with their budget, to expand their budget into manufacturing. I don't have much difficulty with helping those individuals bring businesses to Carson City in this respect. The only thing I asked for was a budget be presented from NNDA, and we were presented a budget, but it only showed percentages and not dollar amounts. And for that reason, I voted against the granting the money, because I didn't know how much budget was there, and I just think if we're going to grant money to an individual or to an organization, we, the board, should ask for and receive a budget that shows dollar amounts, not percentages. Coming before the board, and this is really going to be helpful, I believe, in the overall budget aspect, is the Moss Adams efficiency study of our employees and staff. And this will cost roughly $56,000. I know that's a lot of money. And what I'm hoping we can gain from this is I hope they will look at the overtime that the city employees are putting in and the salaries that we're paying for this overtime. I think that in itself may recoup our $56,000 if we can figure out how to cut down on overtime, because it's a lot of money that we're paying in overtime. Also coming back to the board will be the Eagle Valley Golf Course, and we'll be looking at operational budget of that facility, and they're going to have a presentation, I believe, from Eagle Valley. And so we'll be looking at that overall, how we, the city, are getting reimbursed from Eagle Valley and where they're headed and what they're doing. So this will be a good update for us. Not on the horizon yet so far is Empire Golf Ranch. So we haven't heard anything there, although there is some negotiation going on the title and so forth, but I'm not privy to that information at this time. And so for my time here today, sharing it with you, I appreciate your time and listening to this. I encourage all citizens to get a hold of your Board of Supervisors. You can do that through the website. My email address is shown below. I encourage you to touch base, reach out, bring your concerns, your questions, and how we can improve our city. I look forward to meeting you in public and having a conversation with you. My name is Jim Shirk, Board of Supervisors, Ward 4. Thank you for your time today.